So I've got some good friends over here today, and we're gonna be ripping apart more of Samantha than I had anticipated. We're actually gonna be removing the cab and going down all the way to the frame. So my good buddy Husman over here actually already patched up the frame where I was having issues earlier, and I'll show you that right now. So we just took the doors off and the bench seat out, which is right there. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna undo all the body mounts, and there's some like back here, and there's probably one in this area up underneath the footwell, and then there's ones in the front. And then with Tyler and Hustle Nuts here, we're gonna actually see if we can lift this thing off and move it back. What do you think?
Totally gonna do it.
I'm working with clowns. So we got the body off. It's back there. Took some muscle, but we actually got it, as you guys saw. And now what we're gonna do is we are gonna put the engine and transmission back up into place, and we're gonna start laying things out along the frame.
Oh, I need to come in at a little bit of an angle. On your toes. Up we go. Look at you. I am a professional. It's not a diss. Tilt forward.
So the other day when we took the body off of the vehicle and threw the engine and transmission in, we actually barely got ahead of ourselves, or a little farther ahead than I wanted to get. Because when we were taking the whole compartment off the chassis here, now we have the power steering box is a thing that I can grind off and take off of here. So to best attack that, I'm actually gonna pull the engine and transmission back off. The engine and transmission is going to be coming on and off of this thing a bunch. But to do that, I actually went over to Harbor Freight and I picked up one of these levelers that's going to help when I lift the engine and transmission up. It will help, I can adjust how the engine is all leveled up. So it will hopefully skew the balance a little bit for us. So I've actually never used one of these, so we're going to try it out. Now that we have the engine out, now I can attack some of these brackets that we didn't attack before. One is back here, which was the cross member that we cut out. I couldn't take off this top section because the body was up here, so I didn't have access to it. But now that the body's off, I can attack that on both sides. And the power steering setup on a two-wheel drive is different than it is for the four-wheel drive. So I can cut all this excess bracketry off from this section right here. And then once I get some frame plates or a beefed up system for the power steering box for the four-wheel drive, I can weld that into place. And that'll be all clean and ready to go. So those are the few steps that we missed, or that we were just so eager to get everything in, that I want to attack before we start building out this transmission. And there we go. I've now ground everything down that I think I'm going to have to grind down. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do in the rear axle or the rear area. The cross member that holds the tires probably going to stay, but I still have the rear spring hangers where the shackle goes, because I'm not sure what suspension I'm going to be exactly running. But let me show you one little thing before we run and get out of here of a problem that I ran into. So as you know, we installed the engine and transmission the other day, but when we were doing it, I never realized that this transmission is a top shifting transmission. So that means I need a top shifting T-case, which I don't have. So back here you can see that that is a forward shifting case, and here is my second T-case, which is also a forward shifting case. So I was just mistaken and wasn't paying attention to what was going on when I was collecting parts, and I have two forward shifting cases. So I either need to convert both of these to top shifters or get another transmission. And if luck will have it, Tyler just did his motor swap and they couldn't use his old transmission, which happens to be a forward shifting transmission. So Tyler and I are going to be trading. So that's exciting news. I didn't have to worry too much about sourcing a transmission when I have a buddy who is willing to trade me for one. So now that I actually have the second transmission, I can start assembly of everything, and I know that I'm going to have to acquire a few more parts before I can finalize what's going on inside of the rig here. And I'm currently trying to collect parts. So the next series of this video might be somewhat out of order because I'm waiting on some parts to get the T-cases and transmission together. So I'm kind of just going to be doing something else that needs to get done but is sort of out of order of what's going on today. But if you're enjoying the Samantha build, please tell a friend, hammer down on the subscribe button, and like always, my friends, don't forget, keep crawling.